Are the numbers going?
They are now. They
It's
weren't.
not now. There it goes now.
Isn't it nice to have Rich there explaining what I'm doing? It's kind of awesome. Well, it's because you don't wear your things up mic no
So I
more.
missed all that.
Maybe we'll have them riding tomorrow.
You know, I come to watch you ride, not listen to my mouth. I just think it's awesome. You can watch me ride and know what I'm doing. Well, thank you, sir. Because I don't know who have been the ambassadors of dressage before me that you met, but I don't really know that they knew what dressage is. Ray Hunt and Tom Dorn. Yeah, no. Those guys, that's dressage. That's what you told me, that training level and first level was just hitting them broke. Oh, yeah. So I've used that a lot. People think I'm a genius, and I'm not. Awesome. I just stole that sentence from you. I had a lady the other day she said, you know, when you first start your horses, it's dressage. Then later, it becomes dressage. Oh. When you're doing the third level and above, now it's dressage. Oh my God, that is great. Yes, sir. I guess it could be. Oh, cracking up. Because I'm not classically educated. Now, yes and no. Because the principles that we discuss, yes, sir, those are the classic principles. You know, it sure would seem like it. No. So it's almost like maybe Ray and Tom weren't as big at hillbillies as people might think. Well, you know, when you wear these hats, people get confused. Yes, sir. You know, George Morris and Buck Brannaman did a question and answer thing in northern Montana here about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Yeah, well, I was up last, you said that they were going to do that. Well, I didn't get to go because Andrea claims we're broke. So anyway, they recorded that and made a DVD of it. There's got to be some good answers to some good questions on that. Not exactly the same as touching the horse, but their ideas have got to be kind of interesting. George Morris was doing a clinic down the street from us. Did you go? No, I didn't go. I didn't find out until after, because people were talking about it later. So there was a row of people sitting in the chairs, and the horse was afraid of the people. So George circled around and he jumped the row of people. How cool is that? Because it's like, yeah, whatever, man, you're a horse, it's okay, don't worry. And the horse is like, all right. But the thing is that, you know, George comes with that confidence. Yes. George comes on that horse and says, horse, you're going to be fine because I tell you it's going to be fine. Yep. And the horse goes, well, I believe you. Yep. If you're up there kind of, I don't know, and maybe, and if at that moment the horse is like, right, you don't know, so let me start making decisions for us, because you don't know. Yes, that is the most profound thing I've ever heard you say, and that's what you needed to hear, Shelley. It's purely how the horse perceives you to be. The way Tom would have said it, or the way Ray would have said it, is they know if you know, and they know if you don't. And you can't explain it no better way than that. And you know, when you said about them being an empath, that they feel the mountain lion on their butt moves before the brain even registers, they do that thing. When you made a question mark in your head, the horse has already made a decision and is moving on, and that took a fraction of a second. That's why the feel is more important than anything else. Because you feel them get ready to do that before they do it. Yes. That's what makes the problem little easier to do.
Cougar?
Yeah. Butterfly.
Snake on a plane.
Yep. My little yearling Arabian.
Find shiny objects, sunshade, whatever.
My little Arabian filly. She noticed something at the house that was 3 places away, and it was very interesting. So we focused on that for a while. It just was.
He saw a fish roll on the other side of Snake River one time.
Oh, I bet that is. Both of them. Animated, but he came back.
I don't know about that cannon. So that's the nicest cannon we've gotten.
The transition is nice. The transition back was what I was talking about. Coming back down instead of staying all jacked up. English people are tough because they ride little skinny ones. I like big old fat ones. You ride little skinny leather ones. I know. That's what I said. I like the big leather racing ones. Oh, I like big old 3/4 inch pieces of road that just sink me to the ground. So much feel, timing, and balance that can't be taught. But it can be pursued.
See right here, Butch? He's anticipating the next upward transition.
So what he didn't do was transition out.
Right. But he could do this little jiggy thing for...
Yeah, but he's not jigging now. He's being animated. But see him come back. If he does go up, he just gets softer now. It's good fun. Look at the flop in them reins. He's doing that with his body, sis. This guy's an incredible rider. Sarah is a great rider too.
Yeah.
I didn't come here to intimidate you or make you mad.
I'm not mad.
But the reason I come here today was to see how you were getting along.
Because you're part of Team Wilder.
I know.
I need Team Wilder on the
I think you guys together have kept this horse in good place.
So as he talks about the flop in the rain, right? And you go, oh my God, it's dressage and you ride collection. There's still flop in the reins. What happens is if you Google up Stephen Peters, right? And you see the horse collected, the horse is packaged this big. The reins are still like this. The reins are still like this. They're only this short. How did that happen? They compress the horse. That's the collection. They get rounder behind and they get closed up in the front. You don't, although many dressage riders do, and that's where people get confused. Because we know.
And jumpers.
I don't really jump. I don't know enough.
But
Can't comment there,
you
really.
can't hang on to their face and compress the stride and jump a 5-foot jump.
Oh, right, because
It's
they,
the same, yeah.
they won't. Right. Oh, I follow what you're saying.
Yeah.
So, but you know, you see that in dressage a lot where people think, oh, collect, and they just shorten up the reins and they're pulling, and then the horse is just with his neck down in here. But that's not ultimately the aim of dressage. You still have to have that loose rein, right? Only you've made your horse 2 feet shorter, and so the rein stays loose. And so that's the idea of hold with. This is kind of awesome too, by the way. Just saying.
Yeah, isn't it?
Hold without holding, right?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I'm listening.
So when we gather up the reins, right, you're shortening the reins through your fingers. This is the shock absorber, your fingers, and then your wrist. But as you shorten your horse, you can't block them. So then your elbows have to follow. And that's hold without holding. You gather up the reins, you're going to compress your horse to keep the activity. And that, you have to have them coming. You've got to have them moving. But as you shorten the reins and don't block them, well, how do you hold without holding? The reins are shorter. This is the shock absorber. You follow the nod, right? In the walk in the canter, there's an oscillation of that neck. You follow that with the elbows. So you allow the horse to go, but as you shorten the reins and you flex them here, you say, yeah, you got to go, but don't go. And that's how the reins stay loose. It's not just grab the hold of the reins and sit like a ton of bricks because...
But that's pretty far down the line.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm talking a Grand Prix horse. You start with this. You start with him seeking the contact, looking down there, trying to find the bit. When you can close the leg and he pushed into the bridle, you close the leg and he pushed him. When that comes, you get that. I'll show you later with the whip. I'm sure. You know, you got to get them around. The neck's a lever. You get the neck down, the back comes up. If the back comes up, then the hind legs can come underneath the center of gravity. Otherwise, they just move with their hind legs this way. So you teach that in the beginning, and he obviously was up like this in the beginning, and so his back's flat like a table, maybe a little hollow, and so then his hind legs are doing this. They're not reaching. So the neck is a lever. The neck goes down, the back comes up. The back comes up, his belly does this, and then the hind legs can come over. Then the foot comes underneath the center of gravity, can start to take more weight. That, then, you start to rotate back and say carry more weight, and they come more and more uphill. That's why second level is the first time we even ask for collection, and we always say it's supposed to look a little uphill. It doesn't really become uphill until like fourth level. Third level, they want to see more of it, and then by the FEI, obviously, it's up. But you don't start there. Can't. No, because I heard him talking about the floppy reins, and it's such an important point that that contact be loose.
The horse is hunting that softness, and he's offering it, and you're rewarding him for giving it to you by rubbing the goddamn color off of it.
Right. You know, they only know they're good if you tell them, and they know they're bad if you tell them. If you don't tell them anything, they don't know anything.
They're like the neighbor's kid. They make that shit up as they go. I'm quite outspoken today. I apologize.
You're on one, for sure.
And now we're going to find out, because I'm going to canter to the left now, when we're nervous this way. However, when he's in that canter, right, and he's surging on, what I do is I close my leg and I don't let him move my body as much. I resist that. Right? I don't slow him down with my hands, because now we're pulling. Right? I close my leg and I just don't let my hip move as much, and I regulate the tempo that way. Because otherwise it's a drag race. You know, that doesn't do his brain any good. So when I get to the canter now, you'll watch. You'll see when he wants to speed up, I close my leg and I just don't allow my hip to move. That goes what Butch was saying about, riding with all your body parts. And see there, my hands are loose. I'm closing my knee, and I'm just making sure I close slow. I'm supporting what I do with my body with the reins. And I'm really trying to adjust the rhythm with my closing. And when he slows, then I soften the rein. And I slow, and then I soften the rein. And I give the rein there because he cantered.